back. It's JTLBUILDS. Hopefully I figure out how to make more money and incentive to continue making more videos, but we'll figure it out. We'll see. I'm pretty much doing this for myself. Also, I can reflect back on my builds. And I'm doing it for the people that subscribe to have an interest in it. I'm doing it for them. But really, there's not a lot of incentive to record. But I'm just seeing how it goes. I mean, if something happens and the channel blows up and I start making revenue, then I'll probably definitely be making more videos for this build. Alright, part 2 of the video. I'm just going to be dropping the axle down, and then I'm going to take off the cover, drain it, and check out for damage. Let's see what happens. Based on what I learned from drifting, you do need a suspension system in the back. Having it solid is not helping. It's not going to work out. You need some type of suspension for gaining grip. When you need grip, I always was like, oh, no grip is a Jeep. You want less grip as possible, but you probably want some grip, some suspension travel, and so forth. Solid suspension. I don't see any drift car with solid suspension, so this bolt-in situation is not going to work. So we're going to change that out as well. Jack, get some weight off this thing. Alright, so this is what happens when you put weight. These are holding up, these brace, pieces were holding up the weight. This little rubber piece, and that was pretty much what's holding the car up and taking the hits. Fold it in right there, and put a spring right here so it can lift pretty much all the way up. Alright, it's now hanging. I'm going to take that cover off right there and drain the oil. Alright, I'll be honest with you guys. Not only did I do a terrible rush weld job for the welded diff setup, I also was running a little late because I always do things like, there's no event today, so I'm learning my lesson, or I'm just getting it done. But I always do things at the last minute, and I need to stop doing that procrastination, because I actually took out the diff the morning of the event day for autocross event, and I took out the diff, welded it, put it back in, and then went to the event. But the only problem was I was running out of time, and I wanted to go straight to the autocross event instead of go buy some oil, some gear oil. So I reused the same gear oil, and I didn't have enough, and I filled the rest with motor oil, 10W40, and I didn't find anything online saying that was a good idea, but I just went with it. And not only did I did a crap weld job, the weld job broke, the diff locked up in the road after the event. So it did last the full event, but it was wet, so it probably wasn't that bad. But it broke a couple of days later, and it broke completely at the drift event a couple of weeks later as well, when I actually wanted it to work. It broke on the first turn, wasted $150 or more on that drift event. It was very bad, not the best day. Not the best day. But let's see the damage. I'm gonna open the pan and let the oil drain. Yeah, you can tell that's not right oil. Wouldn't it be a miracle if my welds actually held? It's not a big deal. That there. Oh, yeah, it broke. Oh my goodness, that is a disaster. Yeah, this is why you don't rush jobs and stuff like that. You do everything right. This is why the diff locked up. Bad weld job. And tried to weld the diff myself, and it did not work. And that's what happened. So I gotta figure out, do I have to replace this whole thing? Which probably I have to do. Or can I just replace these four? My welding job is backfiring. I was like, oh, why don't I just weld the gears to this little metal thing right here? Yeah, if you do that, then you won't be able to take the freaking thing out. so I had to like force it out somehow. Alright, got that. Oh, look at that. See? That's when I punched the ground. It's probably common sense, but don't stick your hand in those little gear things. I was trying to move something around. I was moving it back and forth, and it hurt. I'm going to invest in the impact wrench because this is taking so long. Or a compressor. I might just invest in a compressor because I already have an impact wrench. I just need air. Push. Oh, let me not do that. Alright, two things might happen. I'm using a breaker bar for this. Actually, that's not that tight. I might end up changing out just the carrier. That's this piece right here. Oh, that's alright. I might just change this out and keep all this because I know. Keep everything here because I know the freaking junkyard is going to charge me like $200 to $190 like I did on the front axle to get this replaced. But if I only replace this, I might get away with like, if it's $40, I'm just going to replace this. If it's going to be $100, I'm going to replace everything. Like the car didn't move. The car didn't move because the freaking, come on. The car didn't move because the freaking, this would lift up and I go grr, 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 and it's grinding here. So definitely I get that. Now we can get a better look at that gear from back there and make sure those are good. Yeah, we did some damage here. This snapped. This got jacks. So that's all jacked up. Got some other things that got damaged. And last but not least, get out of the way. All the stuff's in the way. That doesn't look that good. I don't know if the other one's like that. But yeah, it don't look like. Yep, and that bolt's stuck in there. Yeah, this might be a project that I don't want to get into, so I'm going to replace this whole thing. So that'll be it for today. Yep, wasted a lot of time. Well, we got things done. We know what we're going to do. We're going to replace this whole thing. I'm probably going to go to the junkyard and go cut with a cutoff sawzall. And if it's too hard, I'm just going to take the bolts off. But sometimes it's harder to take the bolts off, so maybe cutting would save some time. Take it all off. It's going to be in like a week or two, and then take the whole thing on the back of my pickup truck and take it to a welder shop, hopefully preferably a car one, and get it welded right, and then put it back in the Jeep, and that'll be that. And then we'll get the suspension close to done on the back, and then we'll figure out if we're going to keep the front axle all the way it is with my welding. I'm going to analyze the welds and make sure they're not jacked up as well.